developments. I encourage you, I was talking with Vincent earlier today, we were talking about what are the things you can do to make your business better. And one of the things that you can always do is you become more attractive. Like it starts like the invitation, I don't care how well the technique is, I don't care how often you do it, that helps, but the more attractive you are, the more into your circle, into your sphere of influence, the more things that will happen to make you much more attractive. So we were talking about some things you could do, and one of the things I was excited about was a person who is regarded as being the most influential by Les Brown, by John Maxwell, by Tony Robbins, by Darren Hardy, by Brian Tracy, by Eric Worre, as being one of the most influential people. He's the most quoted person in all of network marketing is a guy named Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N. And Jim Rohn passed away a few years ago, died of some form of cancer of some sort, but he was a phenomenal guy, and last Thursday would have been his 85th birthday. And so what they did, a lot of people came together, Brian Tracy was on, I mean, just a list of who's who, put together a webinar, and it was really about a tribute to Jim Rohn, and they ended up talking about these 10 pillars, these 10 foundations for success. And as I was listening to it, I was reminded of so many great things. And the thing that's phenomenal about Jim Rohn is that Jim Rohn, he's a self-made, you know, his story, he started off as a farm boy in Idaho and then became a millionaire, multi-millionaire, traveled all over the world, did millions and millions and millions of miles, millions of people, and he was particularly kind and favorable to the world of network marketing because that's where he got his start. He was 19, did a year in college, left after a year, thought he knew enough, and then he became, 6 years later, was just broke. Ran into a guy named Earl Schultz, and Earl Schultz gave him a plan that helped him change his philosophy and end up leading to being wealthy. And one of the things that Jim Rohn talked about before he died was network marketing is a big wave of the future. It's taking the place of franchising, which is becoming requires too much capital for the average person. So he was a fan of network marketing. So the training I was listening to wasn't designed for network marketing, but I could hear our success steps in there. So I put together this training. But one of them I want to remind you, a couple of my favorite quotes by Jim Rohn is that Jim Rohn, if you're not willing to risk the unusual, you'll have to settle for the ordinary, because don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish you were easier, wish you were better. One of the things, another thing that Jim Rohn told us is, look, failure is not a single cataclysmic event. You don't fail overnight. Instead, failure is a few errors in judgment repeated every day. And it's predicated on the reality that what's easy to do is easy not to do. See, in the world of network marketing, whether it's Ambit, Amway, Shackley, whatever it is, it's all the same steps. You make a list. And some people will tell you to qualify that list. But you make a list, you'll invite that list, you'll use the third-party tools and press play for that list, and then you'll do a validation, what we call a three-way for the list. It's only 4 or 5 steps. I mean, how hard is it to make your list and make that call? It's real easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. I mean, therein lies the rub. And Jim Rohn tells us that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, but he gave me some encouragement. He says, if you don't like how things are, change it. You're not a tree. See, I remember the point in my life when I came into network marketing, and I was a person who was too smart for network marketing. I was too whatever for network marketing. I have an MBA in finance from the University of Michigan, worked on Wall Street, I have an accounting undergrad, I have a law degree from Georgetown. I have all those things that make me certifiably broke and stupid. I mean, I got the papers to prove it. And so I was content working 60 to 80 hours a week just to pay for all that stuff. So I wouldn't even look at these kind of businesses. I mean, I literally, I hadn't seen any presentation because I just, oh, it's one of those. No thanks. No thanks. So I came here not from a place of inspiration, but out of a place of desperation. And the first thing I realized when I made a decision to do something different, I got excited. So you can't change your destination overnight, but you can change the direction. And when I changed the direction, everything felt differently. And so what this program took us through, it says there are 10 principles, there are 10 foundations, there are 10 pillars to success. And I like to take those 10 pillars that they talked about in this webinar and convert it or apply it directly to the world of network marketing. And it's exciting. And one of the things they always talk about, the most important first thing that you can do is change your philosophy. See, philosophy is made up of two things: what you know and what you decide. See, I disappeared when we were getting a training for a while. I left for about 40 minutes. I had to go do my steps. See, I know, we all know the secret to maintaining weight loss is this: do more, eat less. We all know it. But the philosophy has to be me walking around in a suit through some apartment complexes, going through the upstairs and downstairs of the different hotels, because I changed my philosophy, because I decided to do some of the things that I knew. And so when we talk about philosophy, it really predicates on a couple of things here. It's that formal education makes you a living. Self-education makes you a fortune. See, one of the things that really turned the philosophy around for a lot of people, I do a lot of work with Pastor Kenny Smith. He has a program called Code 24, and it says, if it is to be, it's up to me. Now, that's the philosophy. If it is to be, it's up to me. See, most people come into network marketing one of three people: posers, amateurs, or professionals. 90% are the first two. See, a poser is saying, oh boy, if I can just get so-and-so in, and they can go and do all this, I'll make a lot of money. And the way a poser works, it's kind of like those scratch-off lottery tickets. You got 5 things to scratch off, and you scratch it off. Ah, man, he's not a superstar. You scratch off another one. Ah, dang, he didn't work. You scratch off another one. He didn't work. You scratch off another one. He didn't work. You scratch off another one, and then just like we do at whether it's a horse race or whether it's a lottery ticket, we tear it up and say this thing doesn't work. See, most of us, 85% are posers. And then there's the amateurs. They're not posers. They just don't know what they're doing. They haven't got skills. And then only about 5% become professionals. And so part of the professional's philosophy is understanding if it is to be, it's up to me. There's some things that they can do to be the catalyst for the success. And so what we know is that success is not something you pursue, chase after, go after. See, what you pursue eludes you. Success is something you attract by the person you become. See, one of the things I did that started to attract the right people on the business, most people know they'll always see me looking like I'm ready to meet somebody who's a 5-star person. Like, when I'm out to do my thing, I don't have down days because I don't want to be unattractive to the people I'm trying to attract. The words that come out of my mouth are not going to be unattractive to the people I'm trying to attract. The way that I handle myself, I'm working intentionally to attract that level of success, because I understand my philosophy is kind of my guidance system. You know, that's my beacon. That's how I'm going to start to bring some things. And so once you start to, and that's why we talk about, everything starts with yourself. It all starts with you. It starts from the inside out. I think there's a book by Maxwell Maltz, The New Psycho-Cybernetics. The New Psycho-Cybernetics. He was this plastic surgeon who discovered that 80% of plastic surgery wasn't necessary, but it was more in their head. They saw themselves a different way. And so once you can figure out how to see yourself a different way, you become much more attractive. So I love the fact that the first pillar we talk about is philosophy. And in this world of network marketing, if it is to be, it's up to me. And Zig Ziglar had a quote. It says, I think I'm going to get it right, it says, just because you stopped your schooling, you shouldn't stop your education. See, we should be in this constant learning mode. Like, we got a training coming up October 3rd. There'll be another one up in Owens Mills October 17th. There'll be another one I know in December 5th that we're doing in Germantown. There'll be some other training. There's a Sunday call. There's the daily calls. There's one at 10, there's one at 10:30. And people say, I just heard that. No, you didn't, because you're not the same person. So you never hear the same thing twice. You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards, but whatever you get with it, I'm telling you, you're going to hear the same thing differently every time. And the problem is that what happens with some people is that they stay the same. Which means that since time moved on and they're the same, they've retarded instead of progressing. And so that's why you hear the same train say, that's the same old train, because you're just as dumb as you were the first time you heard it. You didn't do anything with it. You've got to push yourself. You've got to have that progressive, decide that I'm going to become an educated person and learn how to do these things. So the first pillar is philosophy. The second pillar is attitude. See, philosophy is what you know. Attitude is how you feel. Now, attitude, it's kind of interesting. Jim Rohn, actually, before I get to that, he says attitude. He said the little difference is attitude. The big difference is whether it's positive or negative. The little difference is attitude. The big difference is whether it's positive or negative. And a positive attitude is simply this: optimism in the face of adversity. Optimism in the face of adversity. And one thing he tells us is that negative is normal, but it's not successful, and you must learn to handle the negative. See, in network marketing, there's a catch. There's a catch to network marketing. You have to understand, like you can't say, oh, no, just it's positive. You'll break your heart. They'll put you in a funny form. There's a catch to network marketing. There's a negative aspect to network marketing. You're like, what's the catch? Because I see the presentation. It seems so simple. Everybody uses it. They all like to pay less for it, maybe get it for free. And by sharing with a handful of people, we can make a lot of money. Look at all these millionaires. Look at all these 30,000 people that got a comma in their check. It's got to work. But there's a catch. And if you don't prepare yourself for the catch, you're gonna get caught with the ball right, like being anybody remember Nolan Ryan? You had to get ready for a Nolan Ryan pitch. But there's a catch. And the catch is this: first and foremost, you're gonna get rejected. People are gonna make an illogical decision. I see the rate's less. I know it's the same service. I know everything's gonna stay the same, but I'm just gonna no. Like I know that I'm broke. I know that I've got all. Here's what's crazy. You're going to have somebody that owns 20 properties. You're going to find somebody that has 20 properties, which we know means that one is free, and the rest are going to be reduced by 5-10%. So they're going to literally reduce their costs by about 20%, and they're going to just say no. So you find somebody else. That's the catch. You find somebody else. The second thing is deception. How many people have guests coming tonight? They told you they're coming, they confirmed they're coming, you got maybe a new consultant coming. Sometimes people say yes when they mean no. There's deception. That's negative. It's not normal, it's not successful, but when that happens, you just find somebody else. We also have this thing called attrition. Has anybody ever lost a customer or a consultant? Like they go to witness protection. There's attrition. Like, you're just going to lose some. It's okay. You just find somebody else. And the last catch is this disrespect. Oh, you're doing one of those pyramid things. Or with one of those energy things. Someone's going to say something to you in a way to try to belittle you, and you just find somebody else. See, negative is not normal, it's not successful. You must learn to handle the negative. The third pillar is exciting. It talks about goals. And the thing about goals is this. And I was talking to a few people. Goals is simply ask yourself, what do you want? And write it down. What do I want? And write it down. If you're an MC, say, I want to be an RC. I want to be an RC. Put a date on it too. Ask what you want and write it down. Because the thing about goals is that you got to decide what you want and write it down, and write them down regularly. And we can write down clear written goals. I mean, if I know it's 5, 2, 6, that means, okay, I got to get 6 consultants and 5 customers. Well, if I got to get 6 consultants, now I figure I got to press play, especially nowadays if they got to get customers. That means I may have to get 8 people in there sometimes. Okay? But if I got to get 8 people in there, and if I'm going to get a 30% success rate when I actually sit down with someone, press play, and do a 3-way, that means I have to show this thing to 25 people. Well, if I got to show it to 25 people, then that means I probably have to make 50 appointments because, half of them don't pick up when I call for the appointment. So I mean, they got to get got to set 50 appointments so I can press play 25 times so I can get 6 people in who actually get 3 customers. So if I got to get 50 appointments And because I know half are not going to make it there, and the third are going to come in, if I got to get 50 appointments, then I got to make at least 100 calls, 100 contacts. So you can measure this goal. You can go backwards from there. Because what I like about goals is that success is the steady progress in reaching your own goals. See, we hear all the stories. Somebody got in and they fast-tracked the RC in 3 days. And they fast-tracked the SC in 2 weeks. And they became an EC in 6 months. Well, that's not my story. And that's not a lot of people's story. But what's interesting is that there's a very circuitous path that got a lot of people to the same place. And if we're looking at our story from start to finish, let's not get all twisted about what happens in the first 3 quarters anyway. And so I get excited that we understand that success is a very clear thing. Let me make sure I got that. Yep, cover that point. Now, the next point that we talk about is leadership. It's leadership. I have this great quote, but it says, the challenge of leadership is to be strong, but not rude. Be kind, but not weak. Be bold, but not bully. Be thoughtful, but not lazy. Be humble, but not timid. Be proud, but not arrogant. Let's see. All right. Have humor without folly. That's the challenge of leadership. So what we understand with leadership is this. You got to start with yourself. See, the hardest person to lead is yourself. And one thing they talk about, John Maxwell was doing this section. He says leadership is influence. You know, if you think you're leading, and you're out leading people, and you stop, and there's nobody behind you, you were on a walk. And I felt the challenge to myself in this area because the whole aspect of leadership is just a challenge to be something more than mediocre. And I felt it about 2 years ago when I was thinking about the team that I didn't have and the team that I wanted and all the different things that was going on. And I was listening to a Kim and Jim call one day. And Kim and Jim were talking about how the first time they got signed up, they went, the closest meeting was about 70 miles away. And when they said, okay, we're going to do this business, we're going to come to this meeting every week. And then after about a month or two, they said, we're going to really make a go at it. We need to find another meeting or two to go to. And so they were going to all these different meetings intentionally, with or without guests sometimes. And I realized, you know, if I wanted a committed team, I've got to become a committed person. And so a couple of missions ago, I made it a point to be at every training that I could go to. If there was a training on a day, I was there. I didn't feel like it. It didn't matter. Because I realized that I'm only going to attract what I am. So if I want committed people like that, I got to go. If I want people that are dedicated to all these things, I have to be that. So one of the things, the biggest challenge for leadership is starting with yourself, and you can never demand what you don't do. Like the secret, the key to your wealth has got to be how many people you have committed, plugged in, going to those big events. Are you registered? Don't expect your team to do it. Are you home tonight watching the game? Don't expect your team to make a few calls. And so that's a powerful piece about leadership. The fifth pillar was lifestyle. There we go. There we go. Lifestyle. And lifestyle is a matter of taking your results, taking the results from your effort, and fashioning a good life. Fashioning a good life. And I get excited about lifestyle because we gave us a couple of quotes that says your income is determined by your philosophy, and life is not designed. I don't know if you're still on because someone else is calling. Or maybe it's just someone else is calling while you're doing that. Life is not designed to give you what you need. It was designed to give you what you deserve. See, it's about, like, if you don't reap and if you don't sow in the spring, you can't reap in the fall. You either sow in the spring or you beg in the fall. That's your option. Like, it doesn't matter. Life doesn't respond to need. It responds to what we've done. And one of the things that's really interesting about lifestyle is we all talk about in that 5-star creed that I'm an uncommon person, choosing an uncommon model to get uncommon results, to turn an uncommon income, to have an uncommon lifestyle. See, the pinnacle of the effort that we have in this business has to translate somewhat into lifestyle. And a lot of times we get confused about lifestyle being abundance, being elaborate, being just a lot of bling. Lifestyle for me is I don't deal with commuting anymore. See, because of this business, I was able to earn enough to stop practicing law. I hated practicing law, and because of that, I don't commute anymore. I don't have appointments in D.C. before 10:30. When I'm coming here today to present, when I go to Owens Mills to present, I arrive at 4 o'clock at the latest. I don't do traffic. I just don't. That's funny, when I retired from practicing law, I was having a conversation with my wife last week, and she was trying to work out, and so what can I expect? Can I expect the dinner and to do this and to do this? And I said, let me just make this perfectly clear. I didn't retire from doing one thing that I didn't want to do some other stuff that I don't want to do. If time is your issue, get a housekeeper. So we got a housekeeper that's going to start coming every 2 weeks. Because I'm not going to do stuff I don't want to do. Because that's my lifestyle. The funny thing, we're going to California for Christmas. And we're going to go to LA, stay with my dad, and we're going to go to San Diego, spend time with her sister. And she came and said, how does this day split? And see, me, I live by the billable hour. You know, when I'm on vacation, I'm counting the money I'm missing. Because I'm not billing. So I got to pay for it twice in my mind. That's how it's been, because I got married late, so that's all she's ever known. So she books this little rinky-dink vacation, and I'm like, just going to go for that length of time? Why don't we stay 10 days? I mean, you know, it's a 5-hour flight. Why just go and come? Let's relax, enjoy ourselves. It's the life you can fashion. And so we're going to stay longer because I can afford the lifestyle. It's not that I'm living more lavishly, but I'm living more abundantly. So I like the fact that the 5th pillar is lifestyle. The next one is communication. Communication. Don't be lazy in language. Don't be lazy in language. I like the way he says this. Don't be casual with language. It leads to casualties. See, one of the things that is important is, just for example, if you care about someone, and you're like Sardik, I know Sardik wasn't feeling well. If I went up to Sardik and said, what troubles you? That's very different than if I said, Sardik, what's wrong with you? Like, what we do and how we communicate sets the stage for every interaction we have with people. And the biggest tool you can have in communication is listening. See, I have the ability to get on the elevator on the 1st floor, and by the time, if I see someone, if my spirit speaks to me, that's the person I need to know, I'll have his or her information by the time he gets up on the 3rd floor. What I mean by information, I'll know what he does, I'll know about his kids, I'll know what they're doing. I'll hear that pop, because I've made it a point to become a student. Repetition is the mother of skill. I'm practicing, so that I can communicate more effectively, so that when I press play, I know what I'm pressing play for. See, if you're just pressing play and you don't know what they want, like Brian McClure says, find out what they want and show them how Ambit can give it for them. If you're not finding what they want, you're pressing play for you. You're not effectively communicating. So one of the things he talks about in this is that he says you must study, hone your